So 83 is the oldest guy. I mean, that is going to absolutely get blown out of the water over the next 15 years.
Phew,
Don't you
man.
think? I think a 100-year-old is going to do it pretty soon.
Oh, I don't believe that.
Well, well, actually, yeah, you're right. It'd be 50 years for me.
Yeah,
Roughly.
that's not gonna happen.
100
Nobody.
years?
Nope. No, not a chance.
You're
Nope.
kidding me. Think
Uh,
about it right now, man. When I was 50, or when I was a kid, my grandpa was 50, my age. I was like, he could barely
but
walk.
listen, by the time somebody is actually athletically able to do it, it won't be on Kona anymore. It'll be somewhere else.
Oh,
They'll move it. My prediction is they're going to move the Ironman World Championships within the next 2 to 4 years.
what?
Yep.
Where do you think they're going to move it? Just
I think that
China?
I think they're probably gonna run the Great Wall, um, which would be kind of cool actually. Except I hear this they've kind of let that go with some maintenance issues, but that's inside info.
Yeah, right.
But I think they're gonna go eventually go to a rolling uh basis like they do 70.3 worlds.
Huh.
They're going to switch it country to country. They're going to find courses that are more, uh, because you have people who don't necessarily. I think they're going to move it around, like to maybe some more difficult courses where it's the most difficult part isn't the heat and the wind. There are other elements to take into account. Um, it's not the easiest place for people to get to, and I mean, can you imagine you can't do a male one day and female the next day race there, which I think is what they're going to end up doing, in my opinion, in the next 2 to 4 years. Um, and they'll call it growing the sport, but in reality, it just be called growing the business, because it's
Yeah.
just more money. But they can't handle it there. So I think at some point they'll move it, and uh,
Why can't they
hope
handle it there?
it's just too small. I mean, can you imagine doubling the people right now? They can't say they can't fit any more people on the pier, but I mean, you can't
Oh.
logistically fit that many more people there. I mean, I can't imagine they would want that many more people there.
Yeah,
Um,
I got you.
so I think they'll move it, like to some of the more difficult courses and make it because there's still for, a lot of people who are, is it really, is one race in the exact same place every year? Is it really like the world championship? Like you are the best? And I think if you kind of, because it is just one course, it's a one course in the same place every year. Um, and so that's why I think that they should, not necessarily always have the Super Bowl, you know, in a dome on turf, because I think it's always going to help one team more than the other. Um, and so I think they'll eventually move it, and I think that'll be better for the sport too.
I hear what you're saying because that whole Super Bowl thing, it is. It's like you can train some now that they're at the point where they can sort of just train exactly specifically for that. And I don't know. That does limit a lot of people, like whatever, cold weather people,
And it's just
big
it's hard for
climbers.
yeah, I mean it's not like imagine like it moving to France.
Mhm.
Like because Ironman France is a difficult course. Can you imagine going there like and how much more spectator support? Not that not that there's not spectator support in Hawaii, but just from the general location, like how many people would come just to watch? Like can you imagine having it somewhere in the US within like 6 to 7 hour driving range of where you live? Do you know how many more people would go to
Oh my God.
spectate and watch? It'd be insane. And so I think that is something that they will at some point take into consideration when it comes to growing the sport is ways to make certain events more spectator friendly. Like, dude, can you imagine the Ironman World Championships being in Madison, Wisconsin?
That'd be incredible, I think.
I mean, they'd have to repave all the roads, but it'd be insane, and I would drive up for sure. Even if I didn't know anybody racing in the age group ranks, I would go up and watch without a shadow of a doubt. No questions asked.
Yeah. And now I know a buddy of mine has a guy who has a condo up there that he never uses. I just found out last night, so we're in.
Oh, great.
When
Sweet.
they have the Kona Ironman World Championships in Madison, I think that's where it should be. Actually, you know me.
It'd be a good. Hey, I'll go back at some point and do that race again. But yeah, no, I think but I think that's another very positive to moving it is the ability to get to it from just a regular, everyday for the everyday Joe.
Sure. And now you got me excited about that idea.
See?
Because they're really Kona's like nobody watches that race out there.
No, nobody's gonna drop $7,000
Yeah.
to go to Hawaii. I mean, even the athletes themselves, when you think about having to go, nobody out there rents you anything for less than a week.
Yeah.
Now, I know that there's always this traditions in the underpants run and like hanging out on the island for a week, and I think that's great. But I mean, once you move it once, after that it'll be whatever. But I just think that would be really, really cool for the sport to move it around to places that have just insane. Like you've seen the images from Challenge Roth. That's
Yeah.
what it would be like if they moved it to higher density, more accessible areas with difficult courses that differed every single year. I mean, the pros would have to change a lot of the way that they prepare. Is it going to be a wetsuit swim?
Yeah.
Changes the whole dynamic. Just a few degrees in the water changes the whole dynamic. Is it going to be a hillier bike course? Changes the whole dynamic, because that's already an issue as far as drafting on the bike when you come out of the water with so many guys. Is the run going to be, is it going to be hillier or harder, or just so many different variables you could do to make the course more difficult, less difficult. What'd be wrong with having it in a more adverse environment like Ironman Wales?
Yeah.
Like might be drizzly rain and a little bit cold, but it's the hilliest and most insane bike course. Like what's that going to do to them? It's like I think it would be much harder to win back to back because you're looking at different courses. They always say different horses for different courses. And like I would have more respect for a pro that goes off and wins Ironman World Championships 2 years in a row in two totally different locations.
Yeah. When you said this initially, I thought, man, because I'm kind of old school. I don't want anything. But now the more we talk about it, the more intriguing it is,
It'd be great. I think it'd be great for the sport. It'd be great for the pros. And I think that when you've got a lot of these ITU guys coming up too. You got Alistair Brownlee moving up from the ITU stuff in Olympics to train for Ironman for the next 2 years, and you saw what happened. 4 years ago, whatever, when they raced in London, it went berserk. When he races anywhere close to. He races for Great Britain. Anywhere closer, they line the streets like 50 deep just to watch him and his twin race for an hour and a half. Can you imagine something bigger? I mean, it would just be – there's just so many opportunities. And, they seem to be changing things up now anyway, structure-wise, with the new ownership from the Wanda Group that, like they even say on their website, anything's possible.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for that matter, Chattanooga would be a good spot if they've got a bike course waiting to happen there that would be ridiculous.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. That's what they're doing this year for 70.3 Worlds. They're changing the bike course to a more difficult bike course to make it more fair. And so so the course that we'll do in May won't be the same course that's there in September for the World Championships. They're making it more difficult. Can you imagine them making it more like a more mountainous ride, and then making it just as tough as the regular Chattanooga run course Ironman, and then making the swim 3/4, or like a half mile upstream and the rest down. I mean, they could make that course so much harder.
Yeah.
And I think that's another like you look at like constructing a difficult course. It's why it's so hard for golfers to win all the majors, because they're all played on totally different you throw the British Open in there and nobody goes to crap because it's such a different element. I just think I think it's very intriguing, and I think that they should at least you know consider it. I think racing against the world's best should be the ultimate reason for having a so-called Ironman World Championship, not just the city that you do it in because you've always done it there.
Yeah. Wow, what an enlightener, man.
I sold you.
You did. I'm sold. I
Done.
was 100% the other way when you said it, and now I'm 100% behind your idea. Or not your
Well,
idea, I'm sure somebody else. Or is it your idea?
no, it's not my idea. I mean, I think other people think it'd be good for the sport too, but they might not do nearly as good of a job selling it. It's just Kona. It won't be Kona. It'll be a world championship. Do you want to compete at the world championships? Do you want to compete against the best, or do you just want to say you went to the beach and did the same? It's like the allure and the inspiration is there. It can be in a different environment. I mean, the Olympics rotate every 4 years, different. It's just, it's so many other places in the world to have drama than, that little town. So you heard it here first. Podcast number 11.
Wow,
Kona
this is a big deal.
Ironman World Championships will have moved by the time we hit, 50,000 downloads.
Yeah, it could be very. I think it's going to happen, and I'm not going to stop until it does. Let's get Kona off the island.
Yeah, seriously.
Is
I mean,
that
make it more
the campaign?
accessible for people to get to. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, and not that traveling internationally, would make your life easier, but that's basically what it is. Heck, it's cheap. It's cheaper to get there from freaking China, in Japan than it is to get there from freaking the East Coast or people that are forever away.
Right.
Uh,
That is what a pain in the ass.
yeah, but I mean, can you imagine the obsession even more if they moved it? Like, or to doing Kona the last year it's in Kona to competing at the year number one where it's somewhere else. And then how much more challenging and competitive that continent's races will be. Let's say they did put it smack dab in the middle of Madison. Can you imagine? There wouldn't be a single roll down slot at any Ironman period in the continental U.S. or North America because it'd be so easy to get to. Hey, can you drive? Yep. Can you drive? Yep. Can anybody drive now? Nope, except for like 3 people.
Yeah. You're right,
Telling you, man. Telling you. You could sell it to a city and they would pay just an ungodly amount of money. I mean, it'd be unbelievable. Hey, Madison, we're gonna bring the Ironman World Championships to you. We're gonna do women, age group women and pro women on Saturday. We're gonna do age group men and pro men on Sunday. How much?
Yeah.
Serious? If there's especially if there's an away Badger game, you got nothing else to do.
Yeah. The only question with that is, would you literally move it up to when the race is now because it might get crazy cold or weird?
What's wrong with that?
Oh, you're saying like, but not at the same time. When was Kona? It's
October.
October.
Yeah, first Saturday, second Saturday in October.
Yeah, I just don't think it would be as enjoyable for anybody watching either. So if it was at the same time Ironman Wisconsin is, that would be great because the weather's usually perfect.
Time. Yeah, or even a month before August. Oof.
Oh, fuck.
Just telling you, man. Kona, Hawaii isn't the most difficult place to race every single day of the year. It is that day, but I bet you other people would say differently when it comes to different environments and different different elements.
Sure, man.
Heard it here first. Mark it.
Yeah, put it on your calendar. What, 3 years? No, let's give him 6.
I'll put it in my Google Calendar right now. Well, that'd be great if it stayed continental U.S. I mean, they probably wouldn't do that, but my goal is to make it by like 2018, 2019. So if we could drive to Madison 8 hours away, man, it'd be stellar. Be a much easier, a lot easier on the old paycheck and the old wallet credit card.
Oh my God, it cut it in half. No.
More than that.
Well, yeah.
More than that.
Yeah.
I mean, think about having to ask your friends and family to come watch. Nope, I'll watch you on TV.
Yeah.
Having continental U.S., they could all come, or at least they wouldn't have any excuse. They couldn't just be like, I don't want to watch. I don't want to stand around for 10 hours.
This is very true. All right, well, that's funny how that ended up like that, but I'm going to take it.
Sounds good to me.
Kona,
good place to wrap up.
We kind of Kona recap, but now we're relocating the Ironman World Championships at the end of this.
Kona recapping and then Kona relocation.
All right.
Yeah.
Get Kona off the island.
It is Kona off the island. Next podcast, I'm going to dive into all things swimming. That's been a big request we've gotten, and I was a guest on another podcast that I went through swimming in the off season and basically just swimming in general and the myths and basically why you're so slow and how you can get so much faster. And got a lot of hits, and so that's what we'll be tackling have for you next week.
I like it, dude.
Sounds good to me.
All righty. We'll catch up on that later, and please leave us a review. Please lobby for Kona going to Madison.
Yep. Hashtag move Kona. Starting it as soon as we get off.
All right. I will catch you later. All right, bye-bye.